I hope you have all enjoyed your Christmas and you're back at Marriage Bliss. We want to continue to enrich each other to understand what is this marriage we are talking about. How do we make it blissful? But it is by the help of God. So I want to welcome our viewers back, the Muigais, as we continue to discuss more about his needs and her needs so that we help enriching one another. What am I going to do to meet his needs? What is he going to do to meet my needs? And how can we meet at the center and complete one another? And even as we trust God for a new year, we are counting down the days. I'm trusting God that there is something you're writing down, making resolutions about your marriage. May the Lord help you to remain focused, to be encouraged, and to always have positive vibes, positive energy, that you know what, my marriage is going to work. In 2022, my marriage is going to be better than it has been in 2021. I'm looking forward to better things. I'm looking forward to more, a marriage that is more blissful. Then we need to keep enriching ourselves. What have I not been doing? What can I do? What have I been doing that I need to stop? What then have I not been doing and I have not known it that I need to learn? So it is about learning, relearning, and unlearning so that we keep our marriages blissful and more blissful by the help of the Lord. So today we are going to be learning what are these needs that are his needs and what are these needs that are her needs. So welcome. And we are trusting God that we are going to learn together, and we really appreciate your company. Keep us company as we learn together. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Irene, even for that. It is awesome, always good to meet with our viewers. And we want to encourage you every time that you are there watching and watching us on YouTube and also through Facebook Live. We encourage you to keep sharing. Keep sharing so that more people can get to get reached as we stream live through Just Connect.
Yes.
And so we welcome you. Today we have a wonderful topic. We are discussing about his needs, the needs of a man in a marriage. Because this way we are going to enlighten ourselves, and especially the ladies in the marriage, so that you get to know what are the needs of the man in the marriage. And that way we are going to have our marriages growing and glowing all through. So today we are going to look at the needs of a man in a marriage. And you know what? When God was creating the woman, he said in the book of Genesis, I think chapter 2, that it is not good for this man to be alone. I'll create for him a helper. Yeah, I'm going to create. We are going to create for him a helper. And so in this case, when the lady comes into the marriage, one of the most important things that we need to understand is that the lady comes in to help the man accomplish the visions. And so it is important, even as we look at the man in the marriage, this man need to have vision, so that the lady comes to support that vision.
Yes.
Because it will be very unfortunate when you are there as a man and the Bible is calling you the head in the marriage, the head of the house. But again, there you are without a vision. You don't have any direction. And so any road can take you anywhere. And so just as we started by saying, it is important to come up with even the road plan for the year 2022, even as we move forward. What is it that you want to accomplish? What are the desires and all that? And so we are going to look at now the needs of the man in the marriage. When now the man and the woman come together in the marriage, there is those things that will always make the man continue to grow, even to live in joy and to enjoy the marriage. And one of them is respect.
Yes.
In fact, the Bible commands in the book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 33 that wife should respect. Wife should respect the man, the husband. And so it will be unfortunate because we have seen people who do not respect, women who do not respect, wives who do not respect their husbands. And it is quite unfortunate, whereby you can say, you are able to tell from the way the woman or the wife addresses the husband. Some of them goes ahead to a point of even insulting the husband. or even trying to tell like wewe hata huna mwelekeo. You know, it is just the other day we were listening to a woman trying to insult because it came out as an insult to the man, whereby it's like wewe hata sijui wewe hata si baba ya watoto wangu. And you know, the lady did not mean those words, but you can imagine what kind of an insult that one is.
Yeah.
And you know, lack of respect is one of the things that will cause the man to go very far and even to come up with the visions of the family. But when the man realizes that he is not respected in the marriage, many other time, in one way or another, the one tends to look at the point whereby he is respected and adored. You know, there is that point of the man of the house has come into the house. You know, the man of the house is here, and so we cannot just stay anyhow. You know, there is the recognition of the man in the house. But when there is no that respect, children can say anything to the man in the house, and you know, and that one kills the ego of the man.
Yes.
And so just as the Bible commands that wives respect your husband.
Yes.
This is something that we need to uplift. This is something that need to be encouraged. And I want to post this challenge to the ladies who are listening to us, the wives that are listening to us. Do you really respect your husband?
Yes. And maybe I can come in and add on respect. When you talk about respect, I think women take it like it's a big thing, it's a big command, because maybe we are misinterpreting the whole thing about respect in marriage. And we want to imagine is the kind of respect that we were trained in school, whereby you'd say, yes, sir, you know, kneel to the teacher and have the fear. I think it is important when we are talking about respect in marriage for the wives to appreciate that from the beginning, when God created man and he saw that it was suitable to bring the helper, God had in mind a suitable helper, one you are going to complete one another with. Someone who is going to come in and hide or cover your weaknesses and uplift your strengths so that you can move together as one. Because the Lord commands that now we are no longer two, we are one. So when you're talking about this respect, how are we viewing the respect in this perspective, in the marriage perspective? Is it respect that is driven by fear, or is it respect that is driven by love? Because if it is respect that is driven by fear, you are going to be doing things that are not from your heart. Because, you know, I fear if I don't do this, then I'll not get this. So it will be like you are in a conditional kind of relationship. But what the Lord desires from us is unconditional love. And so when I have unconditional love for my husband, then respect should flow. And what are the things maybe you can do as a wife to let respect flow in your marriage? One is like what you have talked about, acknowledging the man as the man of the house, like respecting his space, and training even the children the space of the dad in the house. How do we respond when dad is around? Because there are things not out of fear, but out of respect and love, because it's an authority that the Lord has endowed on the man. And we cannot step on that authority in the name of he's a dad and he's a husband. Where the Lord commands an authority, then it needs to be respected, because leadership comes from him. So there are things I also need to train my children as the wife, as the mother. This is how we conduct ourselves. This is how you treat daddy. This is the way you show respect. And as the mother, I should be an example. If, for example, I was doing something and my husband comes in, do I give him the space to acknowledge that someone important in this house has entered? How do I treat him when saying welcome? How do I do the welcoming itself? How do I treat him when it comes to maybe serving of food? The area where he's saying, if we take it as our responsibility to respect men as the wives, then it is not going to be complicated. Because how many of us, the believers, if your pastor, your bishop is coming into your house, things shall be thrown all over the house will not be tidy, you are not going to make a cup of coffee for your bishop. I want to imagine that all of us will have prepared a clean place, some good food and a drink to welcome someone you honor. And in the same manner, then we ought to treat our husbands with that kind of respect. Not like this man is coming home in a very dirty place, nobody is ready to welcome him. And remember, God has commanded him to be the provider. So he must be out there trying to make ends meet. But when you come into the house, most women lose it because maybe the man has not met your expectations in terms of provision. You expected this kind of amount of money and he's bringing less. And we fail to understand. How do I show respect? Do I first appreciate, then we discuss this issue? Or will I welcome my husband with insults, and harsh words? So respect is very broad. But it not depends on how do I understand respect in the context of marriage, and what am I expected as a wife to show respect to my husband in a godly way. So respect can be really broad.
I like the way you have put it. This needs to start from the house, even as you go outside, because sometimes people can pretend like they respect each other, or the wives respect the husband outside there, but probably in the house, when the doors are closed, there is no respect. And I've just remembered, if you look at the traditional way of how people used to show respect, the wives used to show respect to the husbands in the house. If I flash back during my grandpa's time, there used to be that particular seat for our guka in the house, and our shosho could not allow anyone to sit on that seat because that one is reserved for guka. The grandfather has a particular place where he sits. There was that particular cup. I still remember there was that particular cup, and I don't know why it used to be very big. It used to be a very big cup, but that one, it was known that one is for guka, and no one should use that cup, to take water or to take porridge or anything. That is a traditional way. I'm not saying that it is wrong or good to do it, but that was a way of showing that this is for a particular person who is respected in the house. And so, even to date, when the man is not shown respect in the house, there is that aspect, and there is different ways that men respond. And I'm not encouraging those behaviors, but men tend to go where they are respected. When the man feels that he is respected and honored at home, he looks forward to going to that home. But when the man realizes that he is not respected and honored in the house, they tend to look for other places where they are respected. And so today we are looking at the needs of the man in the marriage. His need in the marriage. And one of them, we have said, it is respect, and it is recorded in the Bible in the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33. The other one is peace. Peace is very key in the marriage, and especially when it comes to man. When man comes home, he wants to come to a peaceful place, a peaceful home. This one does not mean that the wife does not also want a peaceful place. But we are bringing out as one of the key needs of a man in the marriage. And we can ask ourselves, where did Solomon, where did he point it so well that it would rather for a man to stay on the rooftop of his house rather than stay in the house with a quarrelsome wife? If you may allow me to read, we can read in our Bibles in the book of Proverbs. If you open in your Bible in the book of Proverbs chapter chapter 21, verse 9. Proverbs 21, verse 9. The Bible says that it is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop, yeah, than in the house shared with a nagging. And you listen to this. Those are things that men don't like. You know, than to live in a house shared with a nagging, quarrelsome, and fault-finding woman. Fault-finding.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk of fault-finding, is every time you want to look at the mistake of the man. Na kama ni simu, you want to peruse and see ni nani huyu anaweza kuwa amekuandikia message baya. If you want to say, you want to do, ukiona mtu amevaa smart, na hiyo design ulitoa wapi? Everything, you want to look at it from the negative side. It is better for that man to live on the rooftop of his house. And you can imagine during such a rainy season, mtu afadhali tu akae huko. In fact, the Bible says, there is a verse, I think in verse 21. No, verse 19. Proverbs 21, verse 19, that it is better to dwell in a desert land than with a contentious woman. You can imagine, and that is another verse that is repeated.
Yes.
And the Bible says, including when, regardless of the weather, even when it is raining, it is better to be rained on outside there.
Yes.
And you know why? That is when the man and the woman are quarreling, we are addressing the need of peace. One of the reasons why it is encouraged for man just to walk away, just to just find peace, because when they fail to do that, several things are about to happen. One of the things that we have found men doing is reacting in anger. And when the men react in anger, you can ask ourselves, if you take some statistics of people and killings that are happening in the families, most of the time you find it is the man who has killed either the wife or the wife together with the children, and they also commit suicide. Because men want to have an environment where they can enjoy peace. Yeah? And we are, in this particular case, please, viewers, we are looking at all factors constant.
Yeah.
We are not saying in the situation of infidelities and all that. We are saying the man is very cool, the man is working and providing for his family, but whenever he comes home, he is finding quarrelsome woman, a quarrelsome and a nagging woman, a fault-finding. And that is what the Bible is pointing out. And I want to urge all the wives in the house, please learn to give your men peace. Learn to create that environment that provides peace for the man in the house. Because your man may not climb on the rooftop, but you don't know what he's going to do in the event of reaction. Because we have seen, those are things that we are seeing and watching on our televisions every day.
Yes.
That this man has killed the wife. This man has killed the children. Why? Why is this happening? Because truth be said, we agree that everyone is working and trying to look for sources of income, but men go through stuffs and issues outside there, trying to look for a livelihood for their families. And so when you are there, labda I've seen wale wenye huingia hata kwa mashimo kwenda kuchimba choo, wale wenye wanafanya koroga, you know, you find in a construction site, over 90% are men who are doing construction. Ako pale amechoka kabisa, but when they come home, they are finding a person who is fault-finding. Kwa nini umechelewa? And sometimes, let me allow just to pick this an example. Watu wameenda huko mjengo, and sometimes it extends or more than it was planned. But when the man comes home late, anaambiwa we labda hata ulipitia kwa mpango wa kando. You know, and those words that are very hurting. Yet the man knows very well that he is coming, he has come direct from work. Ni vile tu amechelewa, amechoka kabisa. But when they come home, they are finding a person who is not giving them peace. And so one of the important need of a man, very important, is peace, a peaceful environment. Let the man come and be welcomed with love, just as you have said. Welcome this person with a lot of love. Find out how they have been. Give them an environment. Let them feel good that they have come home. I was also trying to do an analysis and just to find out why is it that we find so many men preferring to stay in the clubs, because these night clubs.
Yeah.
One extent, you pass around a club at night. It is past 10, past 11, but you can still find so many vehicles parked outside there, because some of these men, they were saying that they want to find home, they want to go home when everyone has slept. Akienda tu ya ni kukula tu chakula na alale, then anachomoka tu asubuhi mapema, because some of them, they are finding an environment of quarrelsomeness. Wanapigishwa kelele. There is not that point of appreciation. Just appreciate that man the way he is. He might have his own faults. Anaweza kuwa na mashida zake, but try to give that man peace.
Yeah.
You might be surprised how that one is going to change the way this man behaves.
Yeah. And it is wonderful when we are talking about peace, because I'm thinking, I think respect is the basis. And when the Lord said that, let the wife submit, and the man to love the wife as Christ loves the church.
Yeah.
There's something that God wanted to teach the wives and the wives to follow about submission, because submission shows respect. Someone you regard, someone you look up to with a lot of honor. That is where submission will come in.
Yeah.
And so when I'm not giving you peace at home, because I'm quarrelsome, I'm fighting, and it shows that then there is a gap in the respect aspect. Because when I'm quarrelsome, it means I'm pouring very, insulting words. And fighting, I'm looking for negative things to attack and not appreciating.
Yeah.
That means then there is a gap in respect.
Sure.
So I think when we follow the foundations of marriage from the good book, the Bible, because as believers, that is where we base our marriages on. And that is how marriages should be ran, based on the word of God, because he's the founder of this institution. So when we are told to submit, what did the Lord require from us? So that when I submit, then I will even be able to create a peaceful environment. And peace is very important, because when you give your man peace, he is able even to listen to God. What is God telling him? Because he's the priest of the family. Because when you are in a very noisy place, you are not able to listen clearly. Just like you're walking in noisy streets. When your phone, someone is making a call, sometimes you are not able to pick because you didn't hear the call, because it was noisy.
Yeah.
In the same manner, when you are not in a peaceful environment as the man in the house, you will not be able to sit back and hear from God.
Sure.
How is God directing me to run my marriage? How is God helping me to hear from him about different projects that can push my family ahead? So peace is very important.
Yeah.
When we have peace, we are able to hear from God.
Yeah.
When we have peace, we are able to think big. When we have peace, we are able to give it back.
Wow.
Because marriage is a mutual relationship. It's a give and take. So if I give you peace, you'll give it back.
Sure.
If I don't give you peace, you'll be stressed, and the stress will come around. So peace is very important.
Thank you. That is a very wonderful point, and I want to appreciate. So far, we have looked at the respect and peace.
Yes.
And even as we proceed on a brief break, when we come back, we're also going to continue to look at some of the needs that these men need to have.
Yes.
For us as the husbands in the family, we are looking at if those areas are addressed by the wives in the house,
Yeah.
then marriages are about to thrive. Our marriages are going to grow.
Yes.
Our marriages are going to glow. And this is the desire of even our God. He desires that we keep enjoying in our marriage. There is no need. You know, when some of these needs are not addressed, that is where we find some of the consequences. You know, I'm not supporting in any way where men go and indulge in infidelity. But some of the things that you find, because they didn't find peace at home, you find them going outside. Why do they need to go outside to find peace when we can create environment of peace at home? You know, if we are able to do that in the family, our marriages are going to grow. And so we are proceeding on a brief break. When we come back, we are also going to look at other needs of men in the marriage. Thank you so much.
Ever felt the need to learn how to play a musical instrument or improve your music skill and never knew where to go? Just Connect School of Music is the place to be. We offer professional training in music sight reading, piano, drums, guitar, saxophone, bass guitar, and vocal training. We are located at Eprin Square, 3rd floor, room 26, opposite Buruburu Police Station. Just Connect, building worship.
So welcome back, our viewers. Today we are looking at the needs of man in the marriage, his need in the marriage. And before we went for break, we were looking at the respect. We also looked at peace. And we said respect is very key. The man need to be shown respect. And we are not saying that he need to be feared. We said we are showing him respect and honoring that authority as the man and the head in the family. The other need we looked at peace. That man requires and needs that environment whereby he is enjoying peace. You know, every man will look forward to coming home to a place where he can find peace. But if the man realizes that when he goes home, he is going to find a quarrelsome person, one of the rooftops that the Bible talks about is where you find men staying in the clubs late at the night. You know, because they know when they come home, they are not going to be appreciated. And some of them, you know, some of the men are not born again, and so probably some of them goes there and they drink. So when that person, the husband comes home and he is drunk, does it mean that you must quarrel that person? But maybe, probably, even the Bible says, through your conduct and your behavior, you might win this man into salvation. And one of the way of winning this man, maybe a drunkard, for instance, is to provide him with a peaceful environment. And that way, this man will be, you might find yourself winning this man into salvation. And so we are looking at those needs of man. And the other need, very important.
And before we go, allow me to add, one of the rooftops, you've said it's now like the clubs for those people who are not born again. But we still have believers who are suffering in their marriages. And you find that when this man is not given peace at home, he will run to the church. He will run to do a lot of church activities. Any kesha that is announced in church, he's there available. When there is a lunch hour, he's available. When there are people visiting the sick, he's always overcommitted. And when you find a married person and not able to strike a balance, even in church, because we are believers, in the context of church, then that one spells some problem back at home. Because you cannot be married and you are available for every other church activity during the day and at night, and you have a wife at home and you have children to take care of, then it shows there is something. So I think the solution here should be, why can't we create peace in our homes? And when we are talking about the needs of the man, I am sure there are many women and wives listening to us, and they feel like they want to throw a question, and they're asking, supposing he's not providing, he beat me yesterday, he quarreled me, so how am I supposed to give peace? And we want to urge our listeners, when we come into the context of marriage, we need a lot of grace. We need to be gracious with one another. We are not advocating that if the environment is not peaceful, you are not supposed to look for a way out. You're supposed to look for a way out by going to a counselor, sharing it with your pastor, sharing with a trusted friend who is married and in a stable marriage, so that you can help one another and you can be given the correct advice on how to go about it, so that if it is in the extremes of causing harm, then you'll be guided accordingly. If this man needs to be talked to provide and to do his duties so that you can be in a peaceful environment. But always there is the part of me in marriage, the you, the me. What role am I playing in my marriage to bring peace? Let me not be the one making the marriage not to have peace. So even if you want to complain and you want to show the other side and maybe prove and justify yourself as to why you are not respecting the man and not creating a peaceful environment, I want us to challenge ourselves. What is my role in the marriage? What have I contributed? What am I doing as a person towards the peace of my marriage? So that, am I straining alone, making peace? And if that's the case, then God is just.
Yeah.
God is just. And if you continue pleasing your husband and respecting him and making sure you create a peaceful environment, then as he has said, then your good conduct will bring him to Christ and he'll be a changed man. But even as we continue discussing these needs, we need to continue to understand that it is a two-way. And maybe next Friday we shall be sharing with us about her needs, so that this needs balance. And just like Pastor said when starting, it's not that these are the only man needs. There are so many, but these are among the key ones, which does not mean that they are not needed in this other side. But basically, what do men need so that we can have a blissful marriage? So maybe you can, I hear a lot of discussions about the sexual fulfillment when it comes to the man's side. Maybe you can enlighten more about that.
Wonderful, wonderful. I wanted to discuss that one as the last one, but since you have brought it, I want to say this. It is a need, and a very basic need. In fact, in the hierarchy of need, sex is regarded as one of the basic needs in a marriage, but again, more so to a man. This one does not mean that the wife in the house does not need sexual fulfillment, but in terms of one of the ways that men feel fulfilled in their marriage is when their sexual needs are met. When their sexual needs are met. And I'm looking at this, and I want to look at the people. We have people who are in Christ, believers. When the sexual need is not met for unbelievers, when the sexual need of unbelievers is not met, to them, cheating and going outside there and having the word mpango wakado is not a big deal. And that is where I think this word of mpango wakado came from. Because for them, they go outside there. And if you go to some marriages where we have unbelievers, even the wives know, kwamba my husband anakuanga na mpango wakado mahali.
Which is very wrong.
Which is very wrong. Very sad. But now I want to come in the context of believers. Where the husband, like in our case, your husband is a pastor. Of course, and through the fear of God, these people cannot go outside there.
But some do.
But unfortunately, some of them do. Them that do not fear God.
Yeah.
I'm looking at in a scenario where even the husband fears God. He does not want to indulge in sexual sin. And so he is there, and they are there suffering. Because they cannot go outside there. They cannot find fulfillment anywhere. And there is a lot of suffering that happens.
Yeah.
And so I want to urge the wives in the house, the viewers, meet the need. Are you meeting the needs? And it is good to have a discussion. Have a discussion. with your husband. Have a discussion with your wife. Let them know. Let the wife know that maybe as a wife you can ask your husband, do I really meet your sexual need? Because it is a need. And let the man not lie to you that it is not a need. It is a need. It is a need. And so this one is actually very key. A key need for a man in the marriage. And I would want to urge. In fact, the Bible, I don't want to quote that verse that says, do not deny each other. But it is there. Is it in the book of 1 Corinthians? I think, whereby you should not deny one another. And we have seen people, we have heard of people who use the sex as a bait. If you don't do this for me, I will not satisfy you.
Which now translates to prostitution.
Which now, when you use that one as a bait, then it becomes prostitution.
Yeah.
It's like an exchange. You do me, I do you. And so, even in whichever scenario, unless the Bible actually gives only one scenario, whereby you come and in agreement, decide to forego sex so that you can go and pray. Any other time, you should be able to fulfill each other's need, and especially the sexual need. So, thank you for bringing it up. I wanted to bring it as a last one, but most important.
Yes.
Very important. It is a need where men are suffering. We have men who are suffering. Men are suffering in marriages.
Yes.
We have had men come to us and they, in terms of seeking counsel, what should they do? And especially men who are believers.
Yeah.
Because now they cannot go outside there. Other men, we know they go there and they indulge in prostitution. But our men who are believers, they cannot go outside there. And their wives know that. And so it's kind of a way of harassing and punishing their husbands.
Yeah.
This one should not happen. And if you do that, you know what? God sees and watches. If you are using that one as a punishment to your husband, please stop it.
Yeah.
Do not, never punish your husband, regardless of what he has done to you. Using the sexual mean and denying them sex. And so I cannot emphasize more because I know it is a need.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate your sharing. And I want to talk to my fellow women because things have been said, and it is unfortunate if you could be practicing them yourselves, and that shows that you do not fear the Lord. Because we have heard people say that, you know what, wanasema ninaumwa na mgongo, naumwa na kichwa, or, niko na periods. Things that you want to give as an excuse for you not to fulfill a duty. Because actually it is a duty.
Yeah.
Because the Lord calls it a duty. That you fulfill the duty to your husband, you fulfill the duty to your wife. And so if it is a duty, I believe it means there is preparation.
Yeah.
I believe it means there is work that is involved. And then it also means there are results that are expected.
Yeah.
Because when I'm entitled to do a certain duty, I'll prepare to do the duty.
Yeah.
I'll do it unto my best. And there will be evaluation at the end of the work. How have I done that duty? So if we take it as a duty, then we'll give it the seriousness it requires.
Yeah.
And just like you have said, you just need to discuss, communicate with each other. We have taught about communication. And we said in marriage, for your marriage to be blissful, communicate about everything, including nothing. I hope our viewers remember us discuss about communication. And these are some of the somethings and the nothings now we are talking about. You only need to communicate as a couple. How do I meet this need? How do you like it met? How can we improve? Because we are talking about our duty. It's ours and it's a gift from God.
Yeah.
So we understand what makes me not meet your needs. It's because of this and that. So what is the way forward? Then you also ask the wife, what makes me not meet your needs in this area? Why am I not getting the sexual fulfillment?
Mm-hmm.
And then we learn together and we help each other together.
Mm.
But it will be very unfortunate when we now make our marriage to be like a prostitution kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that I am going to deny you sex,
Mm-hmm.
so that I give you conditions.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy me this, you have to do that, you did this and that. That one does not please God, just like you have said.
Mm.
So we want to urge our viewers, may the Lord help us to gain the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that every aspect in our marriage requires,
Mm-hmm.
so that we are not going to feel burdened about our marriages.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to thrive with the help of God by doing things that we understand and that we are willing to do for our marriages.
Sure.
And sexual fulfillment is such an important thing because it's one of the things that uplifts a man's ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the man needs to feel that he's the lion, he's the king of the house. And so when there is that denial, you hurt his ego and he's not going to thrive out there. And so even your expectations might not be met, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
But you started by disappointing yourself. So we can continue. Tell us about trust.
Trust is also a need for a man in the marriage setup, whereby the man needs to feel trusted. Like you can trust that I can be your husband.
Yeah.
You can trust that I can be able to provide for you. You know, when you come together as a man and a wife, you know, you come together and the man needs to feel trusted. Number one, there is also the trust in terms of faithfulness. Like I trust when you go outside there,
Yeah.
You maintain our love and you honor our love, that you cannot go outside looking for other women.
Yeah.
And so the man need to feel that trust. Because one of the things that really discourages men is when they realize that their wives do not trust them. Yeah. And I want to hold this one as I said, holding all factors constant. Like you have your man,
Yeah.
who is very faithful, but the wife, for one or two reasons, maybe probably from a discussion he had, she listened with other women and all that. She feels that she may not trust the man 100%. Maybe you have ever heard of that statement, that you cannot trust a man 100%.
Yeah.
And so do not give your love 100%. You know, there are those people who say those words, and those are not true statements. And as believers, and especially, you cannot go by such statement.
Yeah.
You can trust your husband. When they go outside there, you don't need to employ someone to keep following them and tracking them to find out how they are. And when the man realizes that he is not trusted, when the man realizes that he is not trusted, different men react differently. And some of them, unfortunately, they say, okay, so you believe I can have a side chick outside there? I can have mpango wa kando outside there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's all right. And they go now and indulge. You know, the other thing is whereby you find the ladies do not really trust that their men can be able to sustain and support them. And when the man realizes that, you know, and one of the way of showing that you do not trust your man is whereby you are seeking the opinion of other men as the wife, trying to seek the opinion of other men. My man is saying this way.
Yeah.
What do you think, you as a man? And when the man comes in and realizes, oh, kumbe you are seeking the opinion of Baba so and so. Kumbe you are seeking the opinion of this and other. You know, when the man realizes that he is not trusted, never reach to a point of breaking the trust for a man.
Yeah.
Because when the man realizes that he is trusted, just as you said about the man ego, you are building and supporting that ego, and the man will even work hard to maintain and to keep that trust. And so I don't want to emphasize over that point, but men need to feel trusted in their marriage. This one does not again mean that we do not have men who are untrustworthy. The truth is, they are there and we have seen them. But even as a man, I want to address you as a man. Why do you want to be untrustworthy in the marriage?
Yeah.
What do you want to prove? What do you want to break the trust that the wife has bestowed on you? Do not break that trust as a man. So thank you so much. That is a point on trust.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I realize time is really gone, but even as we come to a close, maybe you can tell us about support.
Support.
What is this support that men need in a family?
Now, this one, again, is also a very important need for a man. Man need to feel encouraged. If you see men, and I would want you to look at history of men who have made it, in this life, even in terms of achievement. This started from somewhere, but somewhere, encouraged them. Your man could be a taxi driver, but encourage that person.
Yes.
Tell him that maybe he is just employed as a taxi driver, but that man needs to be encouraged. And tell him next time, by the grace of God, I believe that you can own your own car. So that now you are not paying the income to someone. You need to encourage, regardless of the level of their income, they need to be encouraged. That way, you build the ego of these men. We have people, and it is quite unfortunate, we have women or wives who are really discouraging. They discourage their husband. And one of the way of discouraging the husband in the house is trying to compare them. I can imagine how bad it can be if I'm compared with another man. Regardless of the achievement, that is the achievement.
Yeah.
I need to be encouraged just the way I am. Tell me that I am very happy. You see, now you have achieved this. Even now, I believe that come next year, you are going to build your own house. When the man is able to pay some rent, encourage that man. Tell that person, I'm very happy, and I know very soon you are going to build your own house. When they are not able to raise that income, when they are not able to raise the rent, do not bash them. Tell them it is all right. We are going to look for other sources. Keep encouraging these men so that through encouragement, men keep rising from one level to another.
Yeah.
Through encouragement. And one of the worst things that I have said that you can do to a man is try to compare this man with another man. And it is quite unfortunate. We have women who have the audacity of trying to tell, you cannot be like Baba so and so. You cannot be like, you see, Baba so and so was able to buy a car.
Kwani wewe ni
mwanaume wa aina gani? Wewe huwezi ukanunua gari yako. Sisi tunashindaka tu tukibebwa na matatu. Those words kill. They kill the ego of the man. And men like to go where they are encouraged, where they can find peace, where they can find sexual fulfillment. Don't push your man outside. Draw your man closer and maintain that man into your marriage through such, trying to encourage your man. Provide the support. If you see them trying to come up with a business, if you can support the men with the ideas, well and good. If you can support, I hear, and we are one of these days we are going to talk about finances, because I understand there are areas where in marriages where kila mtu akona pesa yake. We are going to, that is a topic for another day. But if there is a way you can support your man, even in that small business, through idea, through financial support, please support.
Yes.
That way, this man is going to keep growing and growing and growing. So thank you. Today we were looking at the needs for men, his need in the marriage. And I believe that you're encouraged. And regardless of the status of your man,
yes,
your marriage can grow. Your marriage can be able to thrive.
Yes.
You can be able to meet the sexual need of your man. You can be able to support your man.
Yes.
You can be able to provide peace and respect to this man.
Wow, that has been wonderful. I'm also very enlightened.
Yes.
Because we said marriage, you never grow enough to learn. So we keep learning, we keep enlightening each other, and at the end of the day, it's for the glory of God. As our marriages become blissful, and because we know there's a generation following us, how do we run our marriages so that the generation behind us can follow our footsteps and keep making it better? So the Lord bless you. till we meet again next Friday, same place, same time. God bless you.
Thank you.
Just Connect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. Just Connect TV, streaming life.